REV, Revlon. It's been just seeing a tremendous amount of trading over the past couple weeks. Today's definitely no different. What do we got? 176 million shares traded today. Today was really volatile. We kind of closed up strong on what was that, yesterday? Kind of look at this 5 minute here. Kind of closed up strong. Basically, had a pretty big breakout over there, like 475 range. Big move. Kind of hitting resistance at 7, but closed out the day very strong above VWAP. Then today, that just continued on with the break of 7, and then 7 becomes support in the pre-market, and just see if we can take a look at that here on the 1 minute. Nothing crazy volume pre-market, but some decent stuff or some decent volume, and kind of more so into the open. We see this push up and kind of almost a resistance at 8-ish, I would say. Kind of comes back, retraces back to 7, but now it kind of holds this new 7 level, kind of with that bounce back up. When it touches towards VWAP, after that bounce to 7, it's kind of an indication that maybe we might see some strength here late pre-market and on the open, just because we're now switching from, that 7 level was resistance yesterday, now it's support, so we might be making some new highs. You can see then we break VWAP and just really kind of consolidate near $8. I mean, a couple spike ups, but almost immediate retracements. So I mean, actually kind of volatile in the pre-market. Just some big push-ups and kind of retracements. I mean, no huge flush downs though. It's really kind of more of this like push up to 830, and then testing and failing, and then kind of coming back down. Pretty well established level there in the pre-market. So then on the open, kind of trade sideways just for like the first few minutes, and then flush down, but kind of almost immediately recoup that, breaking a VWAP. Just a huge candle, and just breaking that 830. Once you break that 830, even more. I mean, probably a lot of people got short pre-market. This thing is very overextended on the daily. Just has made monster moves. So it's definitely a good short candidate. I mean, I think I saw a note saying that it was like 30% of the float was short. I don't know what time that was given. And people are gonna be getting in short this, like any opportunity they have, just because it is truly a great candidate for a retracement. You can see break that 830, kind of then touch up to like 880, 885. The level's kind of more established on the daily. Break out of that, a little bit of consolidation above, volumes decreasing, R size decreasing above that. See the flush down. But then this is where it kind of gets in tricky because it's just so volatile. You then almost immediately get a huge retracement and a breakout following that. That's near impossible really to predict. I mean, maybe you're kind of watching here and you start seeing some interesting movement on the ticker, on the tape, with different buyers. Maybe that's what is kind of getting you going. And maybe you kind of get in for the ride up, a hard stop somewhere, for that break of that 880 level. I mean, you do get a big old squeeze up to like almost 8, or almost a 990. Really almost $1 right there. But there's kind of real intraday breakouts, so hard to see real follow through continuation holding the trend such volatile like that. You can see volume decreasing, RSI decreasing with a flush down consolidation here, near $9, just above that like 880 level. But again, volume kind of decreasing, RSI decreasing, and just the volatility of this, you see that huge flush down. A lot of people risking off of that 885 level. Stop losses trigger, you get the big flush down. And that can obviously be some algo aspects to that too. So you see a bit of trading within the range we saw, well, part of established in pre-market, that 830 up to that 885 level, but really, really volatile. I mean, really tough to, identify a trend and setups. You may be reading the tape and hoping to jump in on one of these big candles if you're quick enough, if you can get filled correctly. I mean, in terms of anything else, it's kind of tough. Or maybe you're trying to play these levels as kind of resistance and support, but again with real tight risk, just because if it breaks out, you are going to be in trouble because of this volatility. You can see it has a couple tries of this 885 level-ish. Again, it's failing. Then we see a slower grind, which is perhaps a little bit something more easier to digest. And we do get that breakout test up to 9.5, but nothing able to follow up after that, volume decreasing. Then we just kind of stair-stepping down. I mean, volume's slightly decreasing, although it is staying pretty constant, but that RSI is not really going anywhere, kind of almost decreasing as well. We get back to this A3 and then just break through that near the end of the day. Now we're kind of doing what we did in the pre-market, that 7.75 to 8.3 range. In terms of tomorrow, really tough to identify what might happen. Looking at the daily and kind of looking at what happened with this intraday, it's looking like it might see a reversal, or at least a little bit of a pullback. I don't know what to what level. Maybe to that 7 level. Right now we're holding the 775 level. Breaks that, then it's looking for that hold at 7. I don't know if we can really see any points of consolidation near there. Recently on the daily, not so much. Maybe something at 660. It kind of plays out at a level, from yesterday. But if we can't hold this 775, we might see a retracement down to 7, or that's 660. Or even more so after that. Although, just because this has seen so much volume and action, it might not see a huge retracement just off of one day. I think if you're going short, hopefully get a better position, but maybe you got in close to 9. I think that 885 level is kind of really key to risk off of, or maybe you got in more after the breakdown. 830 is the risk off level, I would say. But because